Thank you so much, sir, for coming here and for being on the show. You were there.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I know that you wear many hats.
Okay.
I don't want to start, but you can help us to remove some of them. Just get to meet you. I know what you do.
Okay. My name is Talemo Wycliffe Daar, and I'm obstetrician and gynecologist. That's I treat women for a living.
Okay.
I have a small hospital that is called Gibonawa Women's Hospital. I also consult at Federal Medical Center, Kefi. I run an NGO that is called Soteria Afrique, Rural Healthcare Initiative, that takes healthcare to the rural people. And I consult for some international organizations. That's what I do.
That's plenty. That's not small. Anyways, I know that you do have this long-term relationship with CBN. Can you let us into your journey and your experience so far?
Maybe 15, 16 years ago, some points that can easily come to memory is when we joined CBN to carry out an outreach at Child Care Trust in Bari, where we spent about 10 days, so like 7,500 people. It was a very good time because people came together and were very zealous. We saw people sleeping there so they can get to see us. People coming from Niger, Kaduna, FCT, and that was a very great collaboration. And since after that, we've had several other collaborations with CBN, and usually either Mr. Elisha or Reverend Kalma, one of them will call and say, hey, are you free? When I'm free, I join them. And other times, maybe I've invited them a few times so we can collaborate and carry out some outreaches.
I've been privileged to be on the field with you on one of those collaborations with CBN, which is the trip to Adamawa. I noted something with you on that trip. You won't eat until you're sure that everybody had food to eat. You won't leave the venue where the medical mission is ongoing until everybody, had finished, packed, and gotten home safely.
Well, in the first place, it's if we go on a mission, and I feel I'm the one responsible, and the price to pay for, it's said that continuous vigilance is the price you pay for a lot of safety. If I make sure everybody is safe, everybody is fine, if I make sure every procedure went on fine and there is no problem, then I can eat, then I can sleep.
Wow.
But generally speaking, my driving force for missions is the fact that, one, if I look at my hands, I ask myself, what do you have? Like God asked Moses, what do you have? He said he had a rod. A rod could hit something. So he said, hit the water. And if I look at my hands, I have a medical training and I know I can meet the need of others. And that informed my formation of the non-governmental organization, Soteria Afrique, Rural Healthcare Initiative. I noticed that I can get to the people who are well-to-do, their own problems. They want to self-actualize, they want to give back to God, they want to thank God, they want to give back to the community. I can solve those problems by solving the health security needs of the people who are poor. So that's the strategy that I use. Another major driving force is the fact that, well, by God's grace, I'm a child of God. And I have a feeling we're in the end time. And I feel I should positively key into the things happening in the end time. Positively because the Bible says that in the last days, perilous times will come, men will be lovers of themselves. That's negative. I don't want to belong to that. But if it says that those that are wise, they are going to turn many to righteousness and they're going to do exploits, I want to belong to that side. I think that's my major motivation.
Are there times where you had a choice to make between using your resources to reach out to people, which is your passion, and meeting your own personal need? What choice did you make, and why?
That choice happens all the time. I do not have a very strong booming business that supplies my resources, and I don't always have sponsors coming by. But if I stay up to 6 months without going for an outreach, I really feel sick. And so I will gather resources at all costs. Yeah, a few times I had to borrow, so that I can come pay back. But most times, yes, there is this lingering thing about choice. Choice of things to do in the household, things to do, new things to buy. But you have to press it down to go get this one done with quickly.
Do you think that there's a relationship between sacrifice and giving?
Yeah, there is a relationship, sometimes stronger than other times. When what I need to give to you doesn't cost me any much. When, like Paul said, for you is needful, for me is not grievous. So I don't consider that big sacrifice, because for me it's not grievous, but for you it's needful.
So have there been times in your life doing what you've been passionate about that you have been faced with this obstacle, this challenge, and you really thought about letting go? Like, this is it. This is the end. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes towards the last quarter of last year, I was really having discussions on the inside. Are you going to continue this kind of thing? Aren't you going to use your resources to do certain things you have not done, and so on? I really was having those discussions within myself. And one day, I was exhausted around 8 p.m. and I was told, hey, you have visitors coming to your house. He said he has something for me to tell me. And then he said, look, that he wanted to tell me that I should know that it is by virtue of my going to their village that he stopped worshiping idols to worship Christ.
Wow.
That he needed to let me know about that.
Wow.
And that he would have still been an idol worshiper. And that I should also know that many people in that village were in his same condition. That it is because I was going to their village for outreach. That because I went to their village for outreach. He told me that that his village was not known before, but that I have put the village on the map. That the villages around are asking, how comes I pass their villages and go deep to a village that is very remote and begin to help them in many ways. For him, maybe he was just expressing gratitude. But for me, it was a message. I think God prepared him in the village and sent him to come tell me that, hey, you're not going to stop. You don't think that your efforts are useless. I mean, to know that somebody tells you that I came to know Christ because you came. I mean, that's all I'm looking for. That's all I want to hear, I want to do. So I think that energized me. So there were times when I asked myself, are you sure I'm going to continue? But this testimony I've given was a major thing in my life, that look, you must go on. You can't stop.
Yeah.
Let the motivation be that God, I don't know why God is asking me to do this, but I know CBN does work for God. CBN reaches out to the people I cannot ordinarily reach, and so I can give to them.
And I want to say to everybody or anyone who is watching right now that life actually, you feel the value of life when you start to live for something bigger than you. And like Dr. Daar just said in the house, that sometimes what you give will cost you something. It's called sacrifice. If you're willing, it's something that will require you maybe foregoing something that you love doing, pleasure, maybe that shawarma that you like eating every weekend. Trust me, if you give up that money to help a child find a meal per day, you have done something for humanity. I want to encourage you to look within what is it that you have in your hands? You can give it out. You can make another life better. It's not about you, and it's not about what you can give, but it's about the heart to give. Thank you again, sir, for coming.
Thank you. My pleasure.
It's such a great privilege to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.